Oh, hello, Roxanne. Hey all, it's Alirien, and welcome to our tarot readings for Beltane for the year 2026. Beltane is the 1st of May, also known as May Day, and it is a celebration of love and life and fertility especially, and it marks our halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. As we celebrate this time and look into what the cards and our higher selves and the powers that be that we believe in may have to tell us to help guide us forward over the next month and a half, I hope that all of your plans and projects that you have set into motion, either at Imbolc or Ostara, are going well, and I hope these readings help give you some insight into how you can fully harness the fertility of this time to help them prosper even further. Now, it's been almost 2 weeks since Taurus season began, so we will be starting with Taurus and ending with Aries today, and we will be following our usual format of 3 cards from a Waite-Smith style deck. In this case, we are using the Mystical Cats Tarot, which quite literally has cats all over the cards. And our singular card from an oracular deck is going to be from the Druid Animal Oracle. As always, I want to encourage you to please, first and foremost, take what resonates. The reading for your sun sign, which is what everyone typically knows as their Western zodiac sign, may not necessarily be the best reading for you. You may resonate better with your rising, your moon, or another sign that, as far as you know, has nothing to do with you, but perhaps it is somewhere in your chart, and you are meant to see the next 6 weeks through the lens of that sign. Second of all, if you would like a more personalized reading, I do offer tarot and oracle readings through my website, aliriencosmo.com, which you can find in the description. I would love to work with you personally to see what your specific guides and situation has to tell you. And last but not least, if you enjoyed the video today, make sure to click subscribe if you haven't done so already, and ring that notification bell to never miss a video. So, all of that said, let's go ahead and shuffle the cards and begin with our Taurus reading. Taurus, you have pulled the inverted Earth Tom, the inverted Hermit, the Four of Earth, the inverted Four of Sky, and your oracle is the Otter in reverse. The otter typically is a symbol of joy, playfulness, and helpfulness. When in reverse, the otter asks if you are pushing the river, if you are spending too much time going against the natural flow of things, either out of fear or stubbornness. You've either convinced yourself that the way things normally go just isn't right for you, and you refuse to go with the flow and be part of the crowd? Or are you afraid of something else that you feel it means if you do go with tradition, go with the crowd, follow the natural course of things, or whatever you see to be the normal way through things? The otter urges you to go with the flow. And while sometimes, yes, it is better to break the mold and go a different route, other times you are nearly causing yourself more harm and stress by trying too hard to fight the tide. The Earth Tom again points to a level of stubbornness and refusal to move, because the way you seem to be drawn to move, you've just decided isn't the right way to go. And so you would rather plant your feet into the ground for the sake of not doing what everyone else is doing, rather than going with this flow, at least for now, until you do actually find something that you feel is more fitting. Sometimes there's a reason why something is the natural course of things. You've stagnated yourself. You're so hell-bent on achieving the specific career position or type that you've had set in your mind for yourself, that you're not seeing the other opportunities in front of you as the building blocks they are. You're seeing every opportunity that doesn't initially align with your plan for yourself as an unnecessary deviation or distraction or a potential dead end that will ruin your plans. And further, the inverted hermit says that you have isolated yourself too much. Again, this stubbornness and this unwillingness to see positive potential in all of the opportunity you're presented with has led you to distance yourself, however intentionally, from people around you and from would-be collaborators. Sometimes you have to put your initial plan aside and allow for a deviation or a detour in order to have an easier time actually getting where you're trying to go. Don't be so hell-bent and so type A in your planning that you hinder your own execution of that plan. You need to work with other people. You need to find collaborators, even if they don't quite match up with what you're actually trying to do. I had to remind myself this morning, the rising tide will float all ships. So even if it's a little bit outside of your normal wheelhouse, at least one opportunity in front of you is ultimately going to not only help you, but help the other person as well. The Four of Earth indicates a waiting and sitting on your laurels, if you will. You've accumulated a decent amount in terms of some resource, and you're now kind of standing on this precipice of trying to figure out how much of what you've built you're willing to immediately spend again for the sake of furthering yourself. And I get the sense that this is very money-minded. The state of things economically is weighing heavily on your mind, and it's part of why you're perhaps afraid to move in any direction, let alone a direction that you had not initially planned for. Remember that as tumultuous as finances may feel right now, so long as you are continuing to work toward your goal and work at a job that is paying you, money will continue to come in. The Four of Sky, inverted, points to restlessness. You are eager to continue, but you are scared to take another step. And again, it points to this self-imposed stagnation where you are afraid that any move you make right now is just gonna be wrong. The artwork of the Hermit is actually bringing to mind a card from another oracle deck. The Halloween Oracle has a card of an apple, and it's a reference to the apple in the Garden of Eden, the forbidden fruit. Interestingly, the Hermit here has pomegranates on the tree, and in many cases the apple of the Garden of Eden is actually interpreted to have been a pomegranate or something more similar to that. As scared as you are of potential loss and risk and consequence to the actions you take, if you know that your end goal is worth all of that risk and potential loss and will be so much better than what you currently have, then you should continue on in spite of your fear. Evaluate every option and step you have in front of you, every opportunity, and try to reconsider the ones that you initially scoffed at as not quite fitting. Don't be afraid to make use of the things that you have for the sake of building and solidifying the foundation from which you can do even more. Gemini, you have pulled Death as the bottom card, the Three of Earth, the inverted Sky Queen, the Eight of Earth, the reversed Sea Kitten, and your Oracle is the Sow in reverse. You, like Taurus, are dealing with some stubbornness, but you're a bit more on a precipice of things going a different way. Death being that significant changes are about to take place in your life. And it's a change that you're not going to be able to come back from. There is no reverse, there is no retracing your steps. Once this change happens, and it is an inevitable change, you just have to accept that this is where you are now and keep moving forward. The Three of Earth and Eight of Earth both indicate that as long as you stay grounded, you work with other people, and you stay determined and persevere through even the most mundane and tedious of steps and processes and tasks toward your current goal, you will get there. Your stubbornness is going to work well in this case. You need to be stubborn about continuing to work even when it feels too hard. Even when it feels you're not making any progress, you need to keep working toward your goal. You need to not be so stubborn as to not work with other people. And further, not be so stubborn as to not be able to have mature, level-headed conversation with them. The inverted Sky Queen tells me that perhaps you've erred a little too much on the side of being logical and trying too hard to put emotion aside, I think you recognize that you care very deeply about this goal or this project and actually reaching it and seeing it through to the point where you're afraid of your emotion getting too heavy and making it difficult to push forward if certain things don't go the way that you want or expect or need. And so you've gone a little too far the other direction, where you're not bringing enough emotion into the situation, and you're risking being cruel or cold or overly blunt to other people, and perhaps pushing away the very people you need to work with. It's good to keep your emotions in check to make sure that you are in fact making the right decisions at every chance you need to. Your inverted Sky Queen is contributing to this inverted Sea King. You, I think, are, like I said, just being a little bit too cold and trying too hard to be reserved and professional. You can still have excitement. You can still be childlike and be wondering at the world. And let yourself be excited. Let yourself have fun with this, just like the otter in the previous reading. Find the joy. If you care so much about this project, you need to find ways to be happy and be excited and be proud at every accomplishment you make along the way, not just focused on the end goal being the thing that excites you. Every step toward it that is a success, you also need to celebrate. And let yourself be surprised by some of the outcome. The Sow is a card of generosity, nourishment, and discovery. And when inverted, she advises you to reevaluate your image of yourself. Though she symbolizes nourishment, fertility, and giving, she can also represent greed and pig-headed ignorance. Perhaps you need to work toward a greater understanding of the subtlety of life, rather than relying simply on your own look or physique. Without wisdom, even beauty can be unattractive. Appearances may be deceptive, so judge others or propositions on their true merits and nature rather than their outward appearance. So again, just like Taurus, we're not looking at opportunities or options in front of us based on face value. We need to really evaluate everything to determine what is or isn't right for us. Rather than trying to keep up appearances, you need to actually do the real work that needs to be done. Be honest with people, but not blunt for bluntness sake. Be clear, not abrasive. Work with the others around you who can help you to your goal, who in turn you're going to be helping toward their goal, and let yourself be excited. Don't worry. I think this whole reading is reminding you to trust the process. Don't get bogged down in the fact that some things just don't quite look right yet, and maybe it's taking a little longer than you anticipated. It doesn't matter how things look or exist just yet, because you're not finished. Trust the process. Keep working toward your goal and find a good flow and a good means of conversation with the people around you who are working with you toward this goal. Cancer, you have drawn the inverted Ace of Earth, the Fire King, the Four of Fire inverted, the Six of Sea inverted, the Two of Fire in reverse, and your oracle is the reversed owl. This is another one that feels like hesitancy to move on, but not so much out of stubbornness. This feels much more internal doubt. This feels very just generally hesitant based on past experience. The Ace of Earth indicates a stagnation in terms of your actual physical progress. The Earth cards, the Pentacles, they are career, they are money very typically, but they can also be just your general physical resources and needs. It can even be tied to your personal health, your physical health. When inverted, it also often points to a missed opportunity of some kind, or the risk of missing an opportunity. The Fire King does tell me you have a very clear vision of what it is you want and where it is you want to go. But I think you feel a bit lost how to get there now, because maybe you've tried your hand at various things and nothing has quite seemed to work. You've either reached a bit of burnout with it, or done it for a while and enjoyed it, but kind of realized it wasn't really for you in the long run. Whatever the case may be, you're taking stock of all these things that just didn't quite work out for whatever reason, and trying to find the underlying theme to them. Why didn't these things work, and where am I supposed to go now? Things will work out in their time, and the only way to help them find the time to work out is to keep going. Keep trying new things. If your previous attempts to get where you're trying to go didn't work out, that was for a reason. Bear in mind, not everything that failed for the same reason. Yes, you are a common denominator in that, but even in that case, it's not necessarily the same behavior, the same choice on your part that led to what you were considering a failure. But ultimately, if it failed, then it wasn't for you, and that's the biggest takeaway, right? So you need to find something new. And I understand the feeling of being a bit lost and sort of, what the hell do I do now? That comes with that. The Six of C inverted tells me that you're kind of clinging to all of these thoughts and feelings of the past. And it's part of what's making it difficult to really focus. Two of Fire, similarly, you are not quite firmly making any decisions right now. You are worried that any step you take, any decision you act on from this point forward is just going to go like everything before it. So that has you feeling lost. As hard as it may feel to do right now, you need to make a decision, and you need to stick with it as long as you can. Whether it's trying something you already did before that you walked away from and really sticking with it no matter how hard it gets to see if it sticks this time, or applying for a job you never thought you could get or would want, and really putting your all into that process, that application and interview process. Whether it's starting a project you've had in your brain for a while and just never quite got the gumption to do, there is something that you've either tried before or haven't done before. You need to push toward doing, because in that, actually firmly making a decision and really giving your all to stick with that decision, I think you will start to find success this time. However big or small it is that you are after, you're going to start seeing those successes. I'm coming back to the inverted Ace of Earth because, again, it points to this concept of a missed opportunity. There is perhaps an opportunity right in front of you that you've not quite noticed yet. To really look for those opportunities in your life right now that you can latch onto. One of them, I'm quite sure, is going to work out this time. The inverted owl, similarly to the inverted hermit in one of the previous readings, is warning you that you might be too detached. The owl is a card of detachment, of wisdom, and of change. Detachment can be an asset, being able to kind of pull back and look at a bigger picture without being too emotionally, involved. But sometimes we can also end up leaning on it as too much of a coping mechanism. And I think you are at risk of doing so because you know how you feel about all of this that has already transpired, and you recognize that you need to not be stuck in your own head too much, but instead of charging forward, you're at risk of continuing to stay still and just becoming apathetic about everything instead of letting your passion, this Fire King, drive you forward. But the owl does say there's something new. The ace as well. There is a new beginning right in front of you that will only work out when you notice it and choose to take hold of it. And once you choose it, you need to see it through as far as it will go. Leo, you have pulled for Beltane. The stars in reverse. The Tower in reverse. The Eight of Sea inverted. The Fire Queen. The Chariot in reverse. The Two of Earth reversed. And your oracle card is the Horse. Leo feels a shambles at the moment. The inverted stars tells me that you are struggling to hold on to your hope and optimism about something. The inverted Tower shows me that there is a very significant change in your life that you've been trying desperately to avoid or put off. That is going to happen whether or not you are ready for it, so you may as well brace for it. The inverted Eight of Sea further shows me that there's some sort of change, something you need to let go of that you're clinging to or you don't feel ready to let go of. The Fire Queen is a card of courage, determination, and joy. It shows me that you are trying to see as much good as you can right now. But the inverted Chariot and Two of Earth both tell me that you feel adrift. You feel like you've lost all control and direction and momentum toward your goals, and everything's just out of whack. It's completely out of balance. You're struggling to prioritize, you're struggling to take care of yourself, you're struggling to keep everything in its place. You're feeling really down on yourself and really stuck. For one thing, and some people will take this well and some won't, but regarding the Tower, whether or not you know what this change is, the Tower and the Eight of Sea are together showing me that there is something that you need to let go of. A moving on, a transition that you need to make in terms of a relationship or something else that's very, very emotionally important to you. I believe, based on what I'm seeing, that the struggle here and the hesitancy and the worry is whether you are truly prepared for it and whether you will adjust well as this change takes hold. The Chariot and Two of Earth being inverted, I believe, are telling me that everything else in your life is taking a bit of a back seat mentally to your concerns about this change. You are so focused and worried about whether this change is going to go well. You're struggling to keep everything else in check. And while this is a significant change, and it's going to drastically and significantly change how your life works, it's going to take adjustment. That does not mean the rest of your life can stop just because this happens. I get the sense that this is a change that was a very long time coming. You've had years to prepare for this moment. But of course, now that it's here, it feels much heavier. It feels sudden. Your Fire Queen is one of your two councils. You already are a very determined individual, a very optimistic individual. And that has helped you have the courage to face difficult and scary and uncertain things before. It will be no different this time. Hold on to those aspects of yourself. Let them drive for a little bit. Do your best to find all of the joy you can, in spite of the uncertainty or the fear or the unfamiliarity of what's on the other side of this change. Let that turn your hope back around. You are a deeply emotional person. I suspect that you either have a lot of water signs in your chart or are just deeply empathetic and deeply caring about the people in your life. You feel a lot from the world, and so it makes sense that this change is going to weigh on you. I also think one thing you need to do as soon as you're able is take some sort of a trip. The horse is representative of the goddess Epona. It is a card of the balance between the spirit and the earth, and it is a card of travel. The horse calls us to take a journey, to travel somewhere, whether it's physically out in the world or an internal, introspective sort of journey through meditation or maybe perhaps taking a spiritual retreat. She also represents the never-ending natural cycle of life and death and reminds us that things are always changing around us, however big or small. This change is no different. When you can, before or after this change takes hold, take a trip somewhere. Go somewhere new. Let it help to rest and rejuvenate yourself so that you are ready to take on this change. Because whatever is ending, remember that something else is beginning on the other side of it. And instead of focusing on all of the things that are different or uncomfortable or uncertain, recognize that some of those differences and uncertainties are going to be positive new things that you get to discover and experience for the first time. And knowing you, you're gonna find as much optimism about all of that as you can. And that's a beautiful thing. Virgo, you have drawn the Seven of Sea, the Fire King, Good Kitty, Seven of Earth, and your oracle cards are the Inverted Fox and the Upright Ram. You have a lot of options in front of you right now, Virgo, in terms of which way you should go, what you should prioritize, how best to move forward toward the current goal you have in mind. And some of these options seem too good to be true, some of them truly are. Some of them look not useful, but may actually prove to be more useful than they seem at first sight. And you need to be able to navigate and firmly decide, confidently decide, what choice to make in this scenario. The Fire King tells me you do have a very clear vision of where it is you want to go. You can see the big picture very clearly, which is good. It balances out your detail-orientedness as a Virgo. You're also very energized and passionate toward this goal, and you are in control of how this goes right now. You have the say in how this goes. The Good Kitty is the Judgment card. It talks of various things from the past coming into fruition in whatever consequences, positive or negative, they may have reaped. And I think it's telling that a lot of your past actions to work on this are helping, in that things you have done or said in the past are coming back to be boons toward your current attempts at progress on the goal you have now. The Seven of Earth, similarly, the Seven of Pentacles, tells me that you are already seeing the fruit, the first harvest of the work that you have put in. You've tended the soil, you've sown the seeds, you've watered and fertilized and pruned, and now the first true fresh blooms of whatever you've planted are coming to sight. The buds are popping and the petals are starting to spread. It's a very deep analogy, but you get where I'm going with this. You're starting to see progress, real progress and reward from work you've put in on this goal. And that, plus the very clear sight you have of what it is you're actually trying to achieve here, are meant to help in terms of steering you one way or the other on your decision. The main thing to be mindful of are in your oracle cards. You have the inverted fox, which the fox is cunningness, it's a wildness, it's diplomacy as well, being able to talk through a situation and achieve either what you need through discussion or a good compromise for all parties involved through discussion. Diplomacy can take many forms, and the fox here is indicating that you are a very clever and resourceful individual. You just need to be careful that that resourcefulness and cunningness does not start to tilt and be used by you for selfish means and at the detriment of others. Do not abuse your cleverness just for the sake of manipulating people, right? You need to use it to the benefit, not just of yourself, but of others who are involved in the situation. And you need to stay grounded. The ram is this groundedness, and it is also a reminder that you have the strength within to achieve your goal. Whatever obstacles or delays you may encounter, such as needing to really think through a decision before making it, you have the strength within. And keeping your feet firmly planted on the ground will help ensure that your head does not drift off into the clouds and you don't lose sight of how to actually use the gifts and talents and skills you have to your best fulfillment of this goal. So really think through the choices and keep that very clear picture of what you're actually trying to achieve in mind as you evaluate these choices, and I think the correct one will make itself clear to you. Libra has pulled for Beltane the inverted Seven of Sky, the Five of Fire, the inverted Two of Fire, the inverted Four of Sky, and your oracle card is Goose. Libra feels eager for a change to cement itself. The Seven of Sky, when inverted, indicates a strong desire and understanding that previous behavior or circumstances need to be walked away from, need to be changed or rectified, whatever the case may be. The Five of Fire shows me there is conflict going on. Inverted Two of Fire, indecision on how to move forward. Inverted Four of Sky is restlessness. I think you are eager for and anticipating a significant change and perhaps new responsibility. The goose indicates a taking on of new responsibility, especially in terms of home and family life, taking on a leadership role within your household, either because the previous leader of that household has passed on or moved away, or is otherwise no longer capable of doing it, or it's you and a partner starting a new household and family together, so you're moving away from being the child in one household to the parent of the other. Whatever that case may be, you are poised and ready in terms of your skill and your talent and your strength to take on that leadership role. But things aren't quite lined up in such a way that you can actually take that on. You're anticipating this change, but the change isn't actually enacting yet. It's almost the reverse of having the inverted tower card here, where you're well aware that this change is going to happen, it needs to happen, you're ready for it to happen, but it's not happening yet. And that anticipation of it is starting to sow a bit of worry into whether you truly are ready, and that in turn is causing some of these discordant thoughts and feelings in terms of again, the restlessness. You're just eager for it to happen already. The indecision on various things because you're trying to anticipate what decisions will be right in order for you to actually be prepared to lead in this family unit in question, wanting to set aside ways that you've acted or spoken in the past because you know that you need to be an example for others within this family unit. And the Five of Fire shows all of this conflict very concisely. You are internally conflicted, and perhaps there is external conflict as well. It could be something as simple as misunderstanding. It could be something bigger where whole-on fights and arguments are happening. This is all very much in your mind and to do with your energy and your spiritual resolve here. The goose also reminds you that you can be both highly grounded and strong in your foundation, and also, much like the Virgo reading before you, you can be grounded and also have your head looking high and be very spiritually connected in whatever your faith or practice may be. You are capable of balancing both. You are capable of navigating whatever decisions come along. Right now, you need to focus on just continuing to prepare. Rather than getting burned out on the waiting and saying, come on, let's get it over with already, keep focusing on the preparing. Take the steps you can take when it's time to take them. Let yourself have a break when there's nothing else to be done. Let yourself sit back and listen, rather than immediately trying to come up with a solution to fix whatever problem is being presented, because sometimes there is no solution other than allowing someone to vent and being the shoulder to lean on or cry on, and then moving on once the feelings have been vented to something better to focus on for the both of you. Your want to take on this responsibility, to be the best leader you can be in this scenario rather than shying away from it, is so commendable. Don't be so eager that you put the cart before the horse. The time will come for you to assume this responsibility, and you're already prepared for it. Now you just have to wait, which can be difficult. But there are other things you can do in the meantime to make the transition even smoother when it does happen. Scorpio, you have a bit of a doozy here. You have pulled the inverted Five of Sea, the inverted Sea Kitten, Sky Kitten, the inverted Sky Kitten, the World, the inverted Sky King, Strength, the inverted Ten of Sky, the Ten of Earth, and the Earth King. Your oracle is the Raven in reverse. Something has come to a close for you, and on one hand, it is beneficial to you, but right now you are far more focused on what was lost in the process. I think the ending in question is the loss. Something or someone dear to you is no more, for whatever reason. And you are still kind of weighing the ramifications of that, working through the grief of this loss and this ending. The inverted Five of Sea is this grief. It is the point in our grieving over a loss where we recognize that we haven't lost everything, and we can in fact pick up and move on from this. It will take time. It's going to feel like rebuilding more than simply walking away. More so, it will take time for your life as it continues to start to seem larger and larger around this point of grief. It's not the grief diminishing, it's your life growing to encompass it, and thus, relatively, the grief seems smaller. The inverted sky kitten is the beginner who has dropped his sword and is grown frustrated with how many times he has dropped it. In learning new things, having new experiences, there will always be points of failure and setback. We need to be able to have the strength of will to pick up and keep going in spite of that. And again, the 5 of C being inverted says that you are at this point of recognizing it. Now you just need to act on it. The world does tell me the cycle, the path that this grief occurred upon has come to a close. There is no more suffering to be had in this journey. It has come to its end, and now it is time to begin again. It is time to start something new. And the inverted raven reminds us that in order for new things to be created, something else must be lost or destroyed in order to make space for it. So as hard and painful as this loss or ending feels, it is making way for something newer and better. And somewhere deep down you do understand this. The inverted sky king shows me just how truly this has rattled you mentally to experience this loss. You're trying at times to be overly logical and practical and not giving yourself time for the emotional adjustment, or your logic is struggling to take hold at times. The emotions are too strong. You're not quite finding the balance between the two. And that's okay. It's natural. You're going to find that balance over time as you keep moving forward. You are strong enough not only to have gone through this loss and survived, but to continue forward in spite of it and learn what you can of yourself for having experienced it. And do your best to focus on all of the positive memories of the time that you had this person or thing still around, rather than on the grief of the loss. The inverted 10 of sky, similarly to the Sky King, tells me that you feel at rock bottom. The best part of rock bottom, especially when this card is inverted, is that there's nowhere to go but up from here. You have already found your lowest point. You can't get any lower. There's nowhere but forward, nowhere but up. Things can only improve. So let that invigorate you. Along with the knowledge in the 10 of Earth and the Earth King that physically you are as stable and fortified as you can be. You have the comfort of a good home. You have the finances, the time, the energy to start forward on this new path without whatever you have lost. And you are grounded and practical enough to know when to make use of them and when to reserve them. This is all to do with your mental state and your mental health, and helping yourself come to terms with the fact that something you held close is no longer there. That's never an easy process, and we all deal with that process in different ways. Do not be hard on yourself for how you've needed to cope and grieve and start moving forward. Instead, focus on finding healthy ways to continue moving forward. You are more than your grief. You can move forward from this, and you know you can move forward from this. So take those first steps. Sagittarius, you have pulled the 7 of Earth, the inverted 2 of Fire, the 4 of Fire, the inverted Chariot, the 3 of Fire, and your oracle cards are Water Dragon in reverse and Swan. You are seeing, much like Virgo, the beginnings of your work starting to pay off. You can't stop right now. You need to keep working forward, but you can at least celebrate those small wins. You should celebrate those small wins in order to help keep you going. You now are at a point where you're starting to face decisions that are a bit more difficult, and you're not as certain which way to go. And some of these decisions, it doesn't make a difference. Others, it matters a lot. So you really need to consider all the aspects of each decision as you move forward. Don't decide for the sake of deciding. You have a lot of passion and energy going into trying to achieve this goal. So you need to use that passion to inform your decisions, not push you to make decisions hastily for the sake of moving on. The Four of Fire indicates a lot of happiness in terms of your home life and your family life. Things are going very, very well. The Four of Fire or Four of Wands does often indicate marriage. It's not necessarily that. Fours in the Minor Arcana are also often a deep breath before a plunge into harder things. And so it makes sense that you're a little bit apprehensive about how you're going to move forward because you know that harder things are coming. Now that you're seeing the beginnings of your work paying off, continuing to work toward this goal and actually see it all the way to its fruition is going to be harder and harder to do. Most journeys are easier at the start than at the end. Enjoy this moment of respite and time with your family, with your loved ones, and just some really relaxing revelry with them before you take that plunge. The inverted chariot does show a little bit more of your apprehension. You're not sure which way to turn yet, similarly to the Two of Fire. You don't want to lose control of the momentum that you have already experienced, and that's understandable. The Three of Fire is telling you that when you started this, right, you had to have made some sort of a plan. If you did, you simply need to keep referring back to that plan to figure out the best way to go at each crossroads, at each intersection. If you didn't make a plan, or you feel like it's lacking in detail a little bit, then go back to it and add to it. It's okay. Some detours and deviations are going to happen, but that plan serves as your outline. It serves as your foundation for this path that you are on. So keep going back to it and either tweaking it or using it to guide you. Your two oracle cards are reminding you to be mindful of how much your emotions are swaying your decisions. Just like how your energy and your passion and your will to keep going can sometimes cause you to veer a little too far off the path because maybe you had too much speed going into the turn. Your emotions should play into your decisions, but they should not be the only thing swaying you. And so, especially as you look to past experiences to inform your present choices, don't let yourself get overly weighed down by memories and revelations from the past, especially anything that didn't go well that you need to learn from, right? You cannot sit there and constantly regret the things that didn't work, the things that ended, the mistakes you made. Learn from them to make better decisions now. That's all you can really do. The Swan, instead, wants you, as you look back to inform now and the future, do your best to find love and beauty and positive things in all of that. Even the mistakes ultimately are for the better because they're learning experiences, they're not failures. There's a lot of potential still to your path. You have a long way to go, but there are going to be opportunities at every turn for renewed inspiration to keep you going and feeling that you can achieve this. No matter how hard this journey gets, your fire and determination need to be harder, and you are absolutely capable of this. So let yourself enjoy the first fruits of your planting, of your garden here, and just be ready to take all of the decisions as they come and keep going back to this plan. Let it guide you and be ready to tweak it every now and then when you need to. Capricorn, you have drawn for Beltane, 10 of Earth, inverted 9 of Sky, Cat Magic, Ace of Fire, 3 of Earth, and your oracles are the Ram and the Dog. I will start with the inverted 9 of Sky. You are beyond anxious about a lot right now. You are overwhelmed with how much needs to be done and whether or not you can get it all done, whether or not you are capable of everything that is laid before you, whether it's your own choice or a responsibility thrust upon you by others. To the point that this isn't just anxiety, it's dread, it's fear. Fear that you are not enough. Your heart is racing, you can't sleep, your mind won't shut off at night, your stomach is in knots, you're biting your nails, you're pulling at your hair, and you're struggling to focus on things right in front of you because you can't stop staring 10 miles down the road at how much the distance is ticking down. But everything else around this card is showing me and is going to show you that it is all going to be okay. The Ten of Earth is a card of fulfillment, of stability, of having absolutely more than you need, and of legacy. Someone left a legacy to you that you are able to pull on and build upon. And in so doing, you have a legacy you are building for those that come after. Your parents or your predecessors in your career or industry did as much as they could to leave you with more than they had. They may even be continuing to build upon what they've given you to ensure that you have the best chance of success moving forward. You in turn are someone who is trying to do the same. You are using the legacy that was left to you in order to build upon it and pass it on to your children or those who take after you in your career. This feels very twofold. It feels like there's a family aspect, like your actual physical blood family. This has to do with what your parents and grandparents have done for you and what you are trying to do for your children. This also does feel like you trying to make the most of the inspiration that has been given to you by those you consider role models in your career path, and build upon it to help others who want to go through a similar career path after you. Cat magic tells me that on top of being so stable, having the home base and the finances and the time and the energy to be able to devote to it, you just need to prioritize and spread it just so. Cat magic says you do have everything within that you need. You have the intellect, you have the skill. Again, you have the energy, you have the talent and the resolve and the pure drive. You are capable of thinking logically and emotionally and balancing all these aspects of yourself for the best chance at success toward your current goal or goals. You are absolutely fully capable of achieving that which you are currently trying to do, which means that inspiration and new energy, new life for this goal is right around the corner. It may even already be staring you in the face. Keep your eyes open in spite of this fear and this anxiety that really feels like it's going to hold you back and keep you from going on. You can keep going. You have survived every obstacle and setback and difficulty that life has thrown at you so far. You can survive everything life throws at you from now on. Look how much you've already achieved. Why shouldn't you be able to achieve the next thing? You are absolutely capable. You might just need a little bit of help here and there. The Three of Earth tells you that while you are fully capable of achieving all of these goals, you do not need to, nor are you meant to, achieve them entirely on your own. Look to family and friends for support, and look to like-minded individuals and peers within your industry, within your career. Who can you collaborate with and work together to achieve shared or similar or mutual goals? Even if your goals are not quite exactly the same, as I've mentioned in at least one previous reading in this video, the rising tide floats all ships. So as you help others, they are helping you. The Ram, again, reassures you to pull on your inner strength. You have more than you currently feel like you do. Pull on that foundation. Keep yourself grounded. Don't let your anxiety be so loud in your head that you make reckless decisions for the sake of getting them over with. Yes, some of the things you're working toward have a limited time to be completed. That does not mean you have to rush for the sake of getting it done. It is better that it be done right than done quickly. The dog is a card of guidance and protection and loyalty. And again, it points to the Three of Earth. You have people in your life and in your peerage whom you can lean on and who want nothing but the best for you. So no matter how much it may feel at times like there's no one you can talk to or no one who understands, so you shouldn't bother bringing it up. These people want to help, and even if they don't understand, they want to try for the sake of being there for you. They believe in you, and they want the best for you. Let them guide you and help you. And the last thing that the dog points to, and that may help with your anxiety, but it also points back to the concept of foundation and being grounded in the Ram and the Ten of Earth. And that is to make sure that through all of this, you are sticking to your values, what you most wholeheartedly believe. It needs to be the core of why you choose to do anything, however big or small, on your path. Lean on those values and core beliefs. Defend them with everything you have by continuing to work toward your goals, no matter how anxious or scared you feel about being able to do so. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the realization that something is more important than fear, and the choice to act in spite of that fear. You can do this. If nothing else, I believe in you. Aquarius, you have drawn the inverted Four of Sky, the Eight of Sky, the inverted Ace of Sea, the Fire King, and the Oracle card, Wolf in reverse. There's an underlying theme with basically all of these readings of being restless and worried about things. The inverted Four of Sky tells me that you are restless. You're feeling some amount of anxiety towards something and an eagerness to get more done than you have gotten done, whether or not there's anything you can do right now. The cards tell me there absolutely is something you can do. You're perhaps just not quite seeing it yet. The Eight of Sky is a feeling of being trapped, but typically the situation you feel trapped in is partially your own making and is something you absolutely can get out of on your own without necessarily needing help from others. Or if you do need help from others, you simply need to ask. You need to see the way forward in order to actually start the way back out of where you feel stuck. The inverted Ace of Sea tells me that you're pouring from an empty cup. Part of why you feel so stuck and so restless and run down is that you haven't been taking care of yourself. You're so focused on trying to get things done and perhaps taking care of others, you're not taking care of your own well-being. And you can't take care of others if you stop functioning. Let yourself sleep when you need to sleep. Eat well. Drink water. Pay attention to personal hygiene, at least the basics. Take a shower, brush your teeth, wash your face, wash your hands. No matter how tired you feel getting up each morning, go through the process of picking out your clothes, getting dressed, and get as fully dressed as you need to feel more whole and put together and ready to face the world. I recently came across a video that put it like this: getting ready and taking care of yourself is not a chore. It never should be, because you are not a burden. You are sacred and important. And without taking care of yourself, you cannot be who you want to be or do what you want to do. So getting ready should be like a ritual. You are worth every second of it. The Fire King shows me that at least somewhere along the way, you do have a better sense of the situation than you're letting yourself believe right now. You're worried because you're seeing a lot of the details that are right in front of you, but somewhere in there you need to look at the big picture. And in grasping that big picture and putting everything back into proper perspective, you'll probably finally be able to see the way forward that you're meant to take. The inverted wolf warns you that part of why you're probably not taking care of yourself and struggling to get through whatever you're worried about is that you're feeling alone. And you need to kind of reframe your perspective of yourself and who you are when you're alone. You might be someone who has felt very much on the outside for a lot of your life. You feel you haven't had that many friends, and the friends you did have were never very close. You felt kind of like the black sheep of your family. Even now, in spite of having more and better connections, you've been feeling so alone for so much of your life that you can't quite break through that mentality and that feeling to better connect with and open up to the people you have now. Sometimes this feeling alone and this fear of truly being alone or lonely stems from a fear of the self and being kind of scared of our own capabilities. You know how much you're capable of. Again, like Capricorn, look how much you've already done in your life. What's to stop you from continuing on and achieving more? Right now, the only thing stopping you is your own doubt. You are just as capable of navigating this situation, however cluttered and messy and difficult it may seem, as you were of achieving everything you've already gotten through. You need not fear being alone. If nothing else, when we're alone, we can be our true selves. No pressure from society to bend or break ourselves to fit in. And in coming to better terms with who you are on your own, you'll stop feeling the need to bend and fit in, and the people who you're truly meant to lean on, who want to lean on you, need to lean on you, will be right there, ready and waiting for you. You're not alone, and you do have a way forward. Look at the bigger picture and take care of yourself so you have the energy to keep pushing forward. Pisces, you have pulled the 9 of Fire, the inverted 5 of Fire, Moon in reverse, Earth Tom, and Bull as your oracle. You have come a very long way toward your current goal, Pisces. You're not quite there yet, but you need to be so proud of everything that you have achieved. It was not easy, and you're tired, but you have only a little more to go before you can truly rest and recover and move on to the next thing. The 5 of Fire in reverse tells me that somewhere within there's a bit of a conflict going on, and I think it has to do with this: I'm not done, I need to keep pushing forward, but I'm so tired, I want to stop now. You can make it to the end. I promise you can. You have a responsibility to yourself to do so. The inverted moon warns of letting your doubt be confused with your intuition. Remember that if something in your head or your gut is questioning, that is your doubt. Do not listen. If it is a definitive statement, outright, this is how it is, that is your intuition. And that is what you need to listen to. The Earth Tom shows me that you have the determination and perseverance to finish what you have started. In spite of how tired you feel, you can keep going. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other all the way through the finish line. The Bull is a card of wealth and potency. Beneficence is the word they also use. It's a card of fertility and abundance, prosperity. I also associate bulls with stubbornness and being able to charge through any obstacle, being willing to charge into and through any obstacle, even if it might be a detriment. You can charge through. Put that head down and those horns forward and just keep going, because what you're working on is going to bring you so much in its wake once you're finished. Keep going forward, Pisces. If you need to, go back to your mood board, whatever you've saved as inspiration, whatever you need to that inspired you in the first place, go back to it. Read that book again, watch that movie, whatever it was. Whatever inspired you to start, whatever keeps inspiring you to continue. Pull it out one last time to get you to the end. And last but not least, we have Aries, who has drawn for Beltane the inverted 4 of Sea, 3 of Sky, Sky Tom, Floating Cat. And your oracle is the Boar. You, Aries, have been through some sort of heartbreak recently. And in trying to adjust and heal from it, you've grown a bit apathetic. I can see that you're trying to stay level-headed and not let it weigh on you too heavy. You're trying not to feel too strongly about it, because I think you're worried that if you let the emotions start, they won't stop. It's okay to feel things. It's okay to be vulnerable and let yourself open up to others, because you gotta get it out at some point. If you don't, it's just gonna build and build and build, and eventually you won't be able to take the pressure. And it will come out whether you're ready for it or not, and probably not in the healthiest way. You need to be able to open up to someone. And in so doing, you might find that your perspective and mentality around all of this shifts. Just enough for you to start truly moving forward from whatever happened. You need a fresh perspective, and more so, you need to recognize that no matter how heavy your emotions may get, you can still keep going. Even when you feel your worst. You're Aries, you're stubborn. You can get through it. The boar tells you that there are secrets about yourself you have yet to discover, and it wants to help you see them. Because in so discovering these secrets, you will find that you have the strength not only to move on from this heartbreak and this grief, but to lead others, to inspire others. There is someone else out there looking to you for what to do. So you need to look within. Whether it's to a God you believe in, or to a family member or a trusted friend, you need to open up about this. Let the emotions come and go without judging yourself for having them. Only then can you truly move on. And there we have our 12 readings for the Western zodiac signs for the season of Beltane. I hope that you have found guidance in at least one of the readings here in this video, and I wish you all the best of the fertility of this season toward your goals and within your families and homes. May you be inspired to keep going in spite of how the road may get more difficult, and I will have more readings for you at midsummer, the summer solstice in June. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know where the buttons and the links on YouTube are to show me that love, or on Rumble if you're over there. But if nothing else, I hope you will subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and ring that notification bell to turn on your notifications so you never miss a video. If you'd like to see more content like this video specifically, I have my divination playlist linked in the cards and in the description below, where you can also find my Linktree portal to keep up with my adventures on other social media planes. As always, I would like to give a huge special thanks to my covens of patrons and Twitch subscribers who continue to be my biggest supporters. And if you, dear viewer, would like to join either of those ranks, again, check that Linktree in the description for my Patreon page, where a pledge starts at $1 per month, or my Twitch channel, where a tier 1 sub is $5.99 monthly. Thanks again. Stay tuned for all of the videos from our trip to Las Vegas and Level Up Expo, as well as more Tears of the Kingdom VODs, and I shall speak to you again very soon. Keep aiming, my loves. I'm blessed Beltane. Bye, y'all.